Oh, nice. All right, I'm about to.
Today, joined by David Cow.
Whoa, what you got going on there?
Huh?
So what you got going on there? That's coming in hot.
I don't know. I typed in, or I just went to Facebook. So, all right, you ready?
Yeah.
Uh,
Just going on Twitch.
Welcome to the Gridiron Guide Betting Show, episode 4 or 5, I think it is. I'm your boy A2. I'm here with my boy Matt. What's up, Matt?
What's good, boss? How's it going on here? I think we're way past 4 or 5. I think it's just been a little 2-week hiatus. 2-week hiatus. Look, we're back in action.
Exactly. We took a little hiatus. I was a little under the weather. Energy wasn't right, and I don't like to come, down on the energy. So, be sure to follow us on our socials: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Watch the ticker down below. If you guys are watching this live, be sure to hit this subscribe on YouTube. Let the Fantasy G eat that hot chip challenge. Once we hit that 100, be sure to follow in the chat if you guys are here as well. Like I said, we are plus 76 units on the year, Matt. How do you feel about that?
Well, it was higher from our last show, but we lost a couple here. We're back up. So, I mean, like I said, the most important thing for us is consistency. So we're hoping to climb up to maybe similar to the George Challenge here. If we get a plus 100 units, he's doing either way.
Man, listen, I feel like we're going to be a plus 100 units here the next couple weeks here. We're talking a little offline. The NFL slate's a little tricky this week. Not comfortable putting out some college basketball NBA picks on the show just yet, just because it's live. So kind of watch our Twitter for that. Or obviously we can go ahead.
I'll give you credit though for this. You did tell the people to go out there and bet Tyler Hero to win Sixth Man of the Year before NBA season started. I think it was at 13 or 14 to 1. And if you want to live bet that now, it's currently like 1 to 1. So I mean, I think you were way ahead of that. And Hero looks like the quarantine hero. So he's back, and that looks like a lock almost.
Yeah, that was mainly just because watching him kind of in the workouts on Instagram, YouTube, and I'm a nerd with that kind of stuff. Just watching who he works out with, watching the trainers he uses, and just watching him in an interview, just seeing how ready he was to kind of come to the NBA season. Also, something to watch for: the NBA is investigating the Bulls and the Heat for tampering charges, so that's something to watch for. Lonzo Ball signing and the Kyle Lowry signing trade, so there's definitely something to watch for. And then Matt had brought something up.
So they're gonna lose lose a draft pick and get a fine.
Yeah.
What is the tampering charges?
So yeah, you lose your first round draft pick. I mean, NBA for those teams, NBA draft picks don't really matter that much unless you're a lottery team. You lose a draft pick and you lose money. So those are some key things. What should we hop into first, Matt? You think since there's no NASCAR and we don't have any basketball players on our docket, so we want to do college football or NFL first?
I would say let's go right into what happens first. Let's look in the college ball slate that's starting tomorrow. So I guess I'll start the first game. Yeah, this can be a major homer play on my part, but I've been on this team all season long. I'm actually taking an alternate spread here for the better odds, but I am taking Michigan minus 2.5 at Penn State. Their only loss was the Michigan State game. I definitely lost a bet to him on that, but even that game, to me, I credited Michigan State execution more than a Michigan collapse. I understand they blew a 16-point lead, but Michigan State still earned that win. The only outrageous play Michigan really had was the putting in McCarthy for the fumble. So outside of that, I think Michigan still played very well. Penn State, I don't think it's anything special. The noon game, if this was a whiteout at night, I would be scared shitless. Because it's at noon, I am not concerned at all. Michigan by a field goal, I like it. And I think it's like even money if you do the minus 2.5. The current spread's like -1, -1.5 in the book, but given the minus 2.5, they should cover that.
All right. So what if I told you that this line started at Michigan -7 earlier in the week?
I look at this different than you do. To me, it doesn't affect my pick at all, depending on the line moves. I told you earlier in the year that I love when, if I was taking Michigan -7, we'll say, if I wanted that and I keep on waiting, oh, this has helped me out. It's giving me an extra cushion. So to me, that hasn't changed my opinion. What the sharps are with the lines moving, that just means they're trying to level it out. I'm high on Michigan. Even if they lose, I'll go on the sword here. I'm on Michigan.
So I would say I'm on Penn State just because I think I think the line is weird for a top 10 team to be favored by only 1 point on the road. That's why I just decided to take Penn State money line, just tossing a unit on it, plus 110. Obviously, Michigan is the better team, but Penn State defense is real. It keeps them in games.
Michigan has the best pass rushing duo in college ball right now. So, I mean, there's 2 first-round picks right there, and Nate Hutchinson's trending for top 10. So they can create havoc, and they can contain Clifford. That's been Michigan's biggest problem over the years is spread quarterbacks. Just keep him either just stop the pass game completely, let him run the ball, or then just make him stay in the pocket. You can't let him do both. Just pick one of them. Hopefully they handle him, get some pressure on him. Again, I'm just going to ride the boys. I'm going to Michigan.
Yeah, it's not a homer pick because Michigan's a top 10 team. I think Penn State has a shot in their next couple of games against both Michigan and Michigan State. So their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna give you my college pick since you already put one out there. How about Rutgers +7? If you look at my picks,
Indiana, correct?
Yes, against Indiana. Indiana's on their third quarterback this year, the freshman. And Rutgers, I think can keep it close. So if you give me +7, I think they have a chance to win outright as well. So
I think,
what do you think about that one?
I joked with you earlier this year when I had Indiana versus Iowa week 1, and I was on Indiana, and they got their doors blown off. And I sat there, and I was like, maybe Indiana's not that good. And I went back and looked at last year's stuff. I usually try to throw out last year's just stats or team stuff just because the Big Ten was late into the year. There's just a weird just training and prepping just aspect to it. And it looks like Indiana is a complete fraud. Like, they're just not good. So I've been betting against Indiana every single week since that week 1 game versus Iowa, and it's definitely been in my favor. So that's why I'm not going to touch the Rutgers game personally, but I'm not against you picking Rutgers +7 because I think Indiana is garbage.
Yeah, and I just think I think Rutgers are a better team than what they're giving them, and the line opened up a little. Line opened up at 6.5, so it hasn't really moved. So, yeah, I just think Rutgers can definitely cover the 7. Give me a touchdown in the Big Ten game. I'll take it all day. What's your next college play?
Next one, this one you're gonna laugh at. It's similar to the Rutgers pick, but I got UConn +41 at Clemson. I just look at it and I go, that's too big of a spread for a Clemson team that stinks. I understand UConn's an embarrassment of a Division I program, but 41 is such a large number, and Clemson's not putting up points like a normal Clemson team does. Clemson can still win this game 31-3. I don't care. I just don't see them covering 41.
Yeah, where'd you find that? You found that game. I did not see that game. Because Clemson's not ranked anymore.
Yeah, I really went through all the games, every single game. I was looking at everything. I was like, 41. And I looked at who the teams were. I'm like, no way. Clemson's not that good.
Talk to me about the Oklahoma-Baylor game that you have on here.
This was just a weird gut pick. I initially was leaning towards taking Baylor money lines like +180. I opted to take the points instead, just because there's Oklahoma. I know the talent's there, but they're always due for one loss, and they've been just teasing a loss early in the year. They've been flirting with it. A few weeks this year have been really tough, whether it was not blowing out Tulane. I think they had a scare versus, I want to say, like Kansas State or someone. A Texas game was wild. They've had a few games that could have easily lost. Baylor, I bet on 2 or 3 times this year. I just like their offense. They put up points as a traditional Baylor Big 12 team would do. And I don't know. I just kind of looked at it as 5.5. It's still kind of a lot of points on the road in Waco. I was like, yeah. I'll take Baylor. I'm not very confident in it. I just looked at numbers and said Oklahoma's due for their one stupid conference loss a year.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I'm going to go with my last college pick to have on the board. All right, touched on Penn State money line. Give me Mississippi State +6 on up against Auburn. Auburn's not good on the offensive ball. Bo Nix is kind of overrated.
Agreed.
And I think Mississippi State with Mike Leach, right? Yeah, Mike Leach is their coach. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. And the Sharps are kind of favor me on this one as well. They're taking 34% of the bets, but 65% of the money. So that's a 31. That's a plus 31% spread between money and bets. So I'm gonna ride with the Mississippi State team against a bad Auburn team.
Those are two teams I try to avoid at all costs because I don't know which one's going to show up. Like they can knock off like a top 10 team, or they can lose by 50 to somebody. So you like the points, roll with it. I have no pick either way in that one.
I got you. Run through your last college picks. What you got on there?
Staying SEC, I'm going Ole Miss over Texas A&M. I think they're ranked like 11 and 12 or 10 and 11, like right next to each other. I just like Ole Miss being the home dog here. A&M has a huge win versus Bama, but I like Ole Miss because, Corral, the quarterback's really starting to pick up as the season goes on. I think he's now jumped into the top 3 or 4 in the Heisman. Lane Kiffin calling the game for the offense. So to me, anytime I get a plus money home dog with a better quarterback, I'll take that.
Okay. I like that. And you got some parlays on there?
The last one I have is I might add some teams into this later, but again, I'm a little late on the NFL this week. I was trying to hammer a little more college. I'm looking for 2 more teams in this parlay, but the base one is it's a minus 30 parlay. It's just Iowa State money line at Texas Tech. I do not see again. I love Purdy being the senior quarterback with all the starts he's had there. Don't see him losing in Lubbock. And then I have Notre Dame at Virginia. I feel like I have Notre Dame in every single parlay every single week, and they always win for me. So those 2 just money line are minus 130. I'm looking to add a couple more teams in there, but right now just that base parlay minus 130. If you yourself even another pick that you really like as a viewer or Aaron yourself, you can add it in there. But those 2 teams, there's no way they lose those games.
Yeah, I like those 2 so far. And I never mind putting 2 teams together money line for minus 110, minus 130 play. I think it's still some positive money there. Minus 150 I probably wouldn't do, but minus 130 I'll definitely do.
The one game I had left there too, I circled where I didn't have a deciding factor on yet, was NC State at Wake Forest. 2 teams you wouldn't think would both be ranked. Wake Forest was undefeated till last week's shootout versus North Carolina. Their offense is explosive. I just didn't know how to deal with it. It's a 1-point spread for Wake Forest at home. I didn't know if I want to hammer Wake Forest, hammer the over. I don't know if Wake Forest is good. I didn't know what to do with it, but I don't know what your opinion was, but I was leaning towards Wake.
Over. Any Wake Forest game, take the over. They have no defense. Their offense is crazy good, but they have no defense. So any Wake Forest game, hammer the over. Just like any Georgia game, you want a team total for the team they go against under.
We should do that. We actually should parlay as a funny week to week check it. We should do the under of how Georgia's got, and then we'll do the over in the Wake Forest game.
Exactly. So give me your NFL plays really quick before I jump into mine.
Like I said, the NFL schedule I do not like at all this week. Just the most basic thing I have here is I'm a big reversion of the mean guy. I like taking teams off bad weeks, especially I know that they are talented teams, and I also like trusting quarterbacks after a bad game. So I'll start off right now with a simple 4-leg parlay, all heavy favorites, but it pays out like plus 130 roughly. But I don't see any of these teams losing again. So number 1 is Indy versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville's off that. I don't know how they beat Buffalo, but Indy, I think that Jacksonville's be riding all that high from last week still, and Indy's still clawing at the playoff contention that they're just going to blow the doors off them. I also love that Carson Wentz is dealing with the drama over the baby being born, so he's got to ball out now because he can't not see his second kid be born and play like shit. So I see him playing very well. Then we have Dallas versus Atlanta. Atlanta off a big win versus the Saints. Dallas after a just abomination of a game versus Denver last week. So again, I trust Dallas' talent. I trust Dak to bounce back. The one thing I will say about Dallas is we all should probably tune down a little bit on them because big turnover guy, where you look at their first 5-6 weeks of the year when Diggs was getting a pick a game. Once those picks stop happening, you can't rely on like a defense get a pick 6 every game. So I think it's one of the issues that maybe Dallas might foresee is their defense isn't as good as people think, and that's why they're overrated. And Dallas teams are always overrated because the America's team stigma. So I have Indy and Dallas right now. I'm going to add on Tampa at Washington. I believe Tampa's on a bye week last week. And Washington, even though they played in very well in the playoff game last year, their defense is not what it was last year. So I like Tampa. Yeah. And then to wrap it up, very simple. I need no explanation for this. Buffalo at the Jets.
Yeah, Buffalo by 100. Hear me.
I actually might bet like the 13.5, wherever the spread is, minus 14. I got to look exactly. It's one of those two.
It's minus 13.5.
Yeah, it's right down 2 touchdowns. I actually might just add that separately because I see like Jets the Jets aren't that good, obviously, and then Bills have like something to prove after dropping an egg last week.
Yeah, tell me about it. They lost people a lot of money on fantasy, daily fantasy, survival leagues. It was crazy. So I want to touch on the Atlanta Dallas game. Sorry, a little feedback there. Atlanta Dallas game. I actually am taking Atlanta plus the what I wrote on the sheet. I had it at plus 9. So Atlanta plus 9 is where I got it at. Now it's now it's plus 8. And this is just pretty much I think Atlanta's
I saw it down to 7.5 right before we joined this, actually.
Oh, all right. So it's dropping anymore. So I got some nice closing line value there. But I don't like it as much as anything lower than 7. I don't like it as much. I think they can keep it to a touchdown. I think Atlanta is starting to come into their own a little bit here. I think Matt Ryan is getting a little bit more comfortable with not having Calvin Ridley there, spreading the ball around a lot more. Cordell Patterson is their MVP for sure. He's the best player on the field. So I just going to think that he's going to just keep trucking for him. And then I'm going to go to this one might come back to bite me, but I still like them coming off a bye. The Detroit Lions plus 9. I think now it's down to plus 8. But Detroit Lions plus 9 going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are that good of a football team.
So, to your point, I would say the one solo plays I had this week. Again, I'm not a Lions fan, so I'm not trying to pick all the Michigan teams here, but I actually picked the Lions to beat Pittsburgh this week. I think it's plus 250 or plus 280, something that's a high 200s. Pittsburgh's off a huge
plus 292.
There we go. Pittsburgh's off the huge Monday Night Football win, which got a lot closer than people would have thought it was going to be after that first half. Detroit's off a bye week after getting just – I don't know if they even showed up versus Philly when we all had them against Philly. Yeah. I just think this is a team that they're always going to fight. I don't know. It's a weird matchup to me where the Lions always fight. Pittsburgh, I think, plays the level of competition. I think it's going to be a very close game, and I would not be surprised to win for the Lions, but also, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jared Goff throws 4 picks. Like, I don't know. I just picked the Lions just like, I don't know. I had a weird sense here. And
yeah, no, I was
saying, yeah, go for it.
No, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to pick them to win because they screwed me when I thought they would win a couple games, and this is not a winnable game. But the NFL's been so weird this year. Like, hey, the Dolphins beat the Ravens last night.
That game was bad. I had a weird feeling. I texted you too when Tucker missed that field goal. I was like, this is a weird game now. I wasn't completely confident it was going to be 6-0. Ravens were dominating all aspects of the game. He missed a field goal, and the Ravens offense just stopped it for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I don't know what the Ravens were doing. I don't know. But yeah, so Detroit Lions plus 9. And another game I like is Carolina plus 10.5. I don't think anyone's giving Carolina a shot in this game, rightfully so, because Walker is PJ Walker. I don't know if I've seen about something else. Yeah, Walker's going to play in this game. I actually like Walker better than Sam Darnold because something was wrong with Sam Darnold. His confidence was shot. So maybe Walker gives him a little bit of a jolt. And he's hurt, obviously, yes, but maybe Walker gives him a little bit of a jolt. The defense is really good, can keep him into games. So I think they can keep it close. I don't think they'll win, but at least I think they'll keep it close. So I got them at 10.5.
Well, I got 2 questions for you on that. Number one is, I know Cam's not going to play this week. I would assume he's not going to, but
no.
Do you think that changed that at all for Carolina? Because I watched Cam for the Patriots last year, and I'm one of the biggest Cam Newton fans. He's done. Like, he's awful. He can't throw a 10-yard like curl route.
So I'll be interested to see him and Joe Brady because Joe Brady is a really good offensive coordinator. He can call college and he can call the pros, obviously. Remember the first couple of weeks, Sam Darnold was doing a lot of read option. So maybe they'll do that with PJ Walker. They'll do it with Cam. I think Cam might bring a little bit of a veteran leadership to that team. I don't think Walker is like ready to take the team to the playoffs. So I think that's why they got Cam Newton because I think Cam can be good enough to take you to the playoffs. His defense is a lot better. If you look at the Patriots last year, they had no defense. A lot of defensive players opted out because of COVID. So even though Cam might have kept them in some games, they just didn't have the talent. This team has the talent. You got the 2 receivers. Even though Robbie Anderson's been MIA, actually you got 3 receivers. You got Terrence Marshall too. Can't forget about him. Still got Christian McCaffrey and Chuba Hubbard. So they have the weapons to keep Cam kind of upright, and it won't all just be on Cam Newton. So yeah, I agree. Cam is done, but I think he can at least compete, help him compete. A little bit more than what PJ Walker can.
Second question is going to be, PJ Walker, by the way, is a XFL All-Star, the one year the XFL came back.
Exactly.
Second question, the follow-up is going to be for Arizona. Is Kyler playing or not playing? Or is it still up in the air? Because Colt McCoy's not going to have back-to-back great games. Let's be honest.
So I think Kyler Murray is going to play. I don't think Hopkins is going to play.
Okay.
Hopkins might. I think Kyler Murray will play. Then again, they might decide that hey, we won 1 week, might as well give them another rest. You know, because what are they 8-1? 8-1, right? No. Yeah, 8-1. They're 8-1.
This is week 11.
This is week 10.
I think 8-1 then. They only have one loss this year.
8-1. Yeah, they lost to the Packers. Yeah, 8-1. So they might decide to sit Kyler Murray 1 more week and get him fully healthy. I know AJ Green is going to be active. Off the COVID list.
Even that, they still have Christian Kirk. They still have Rondell Moore. I think Edmonds is hurt now, but if we've seen, I'm not a big James Conner guy, but we've seen just last week 3 touchdowns, so he can still play. They have the weapons. Again, the one thing just for a season-long thing I want to touch on really quick, it's not doing it this week, is I think Arizona is going to eventually break down a little bit. I've already seen that if you lose Edmonds, now you're down to just having Conner's running back. I don't know how reliable he is. Hopkins is already getting a little banged up. Murray's banged up. J.J. Watt's out for a season. Like, as the season progresses, if they were a fully healthy team going to the playoffs, yeah, they should be one of the title contenders. Right now, I think they're overrated. I don't think that Arizona's be as good as they were on this season. I don't think it's going to continue in the second half of the season. I also don't trust Kingsbury.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to hitch my wagon to them winning the NFC or anything like that. I think they're a good team, though. I think their offense. I think honestly the emergence of Conner is actually going to help them a lot, just based off the fact that he's more of a steady runner than Edmonds is,
especially between the tackles. Yeah, between
the tackles, and he can still do some things as you can kind of see him, scoring touchdowns. So he can still do some stuff. But yeah, I don't think they'll come out the NFC. I don't think that's going to happen. T.J. Hockenson. Over 4.5 catches, which I thought was really low. It might have went up. So you guys, I wish I would have sent it to you guys earlier, but the past 3 weeks, 8, 6, and 10 on the receptions. So 4.5, I think, is really low. So I would hammer that if it's still there.
Like, we know the Lions going to be behind most games, but this is definitely going to be a game where against a strong Pittsburgh team that we feel like, he's going to get his targets, basically. Because I'm getting at. They're not. I don't see the Lions controlling the game. They'll probably be playing from behind or keeping it close. So in the event of a blowout, I see Hawkinson's easily going to get over the targets and the catches.
Yeah, I think they're going to feed Hockenson. They know that's their best offensive weapon. This one I thought was really low. Darrell Henderson rushing yards, 64.5. I thought that was pretty low. Granted, I know that they're going up against San Francisco, but San Francisco run defense hasn't been that great this year. So I think 64.5 is really low. So I want to hammer that one. What do you think about that? Rams Insider.
You said it was 64.5 for Henderson?
Henderson, yeah, rushing yards.
Yeah. I think he should get it. I think the Rams definitely kind of got away from the run last week. And
they definitely did.
I think they kind of exposed a little bit. They got exposed a little bit against Tennessee with the offensive line. It's a good offensive line, but you can't rely on the drop back and pass block every single play. Collins with kind of bringing it up, there's a move in the pocket in the second half and things of that nature. The Sean McVay principles always would stand by running a lot of bootlegs, running a lot of play action, just to give the defenders a choice where it's not as simple as, hey, this is your guy, cover him. This is more of you have to honor both the run and the pass. So I think the addition with Dell too, it's them trying to add more weapons to make them more multidimensional. So Henderson's whoever the running back is going to play. And Henderson, I think the Rams went back to basics. Henderson 64.5, I think is very reasonable. I'd even bet him too for a touchdown score on top. They could parlay him together or just like a same game parlay, because I think the Rams are going to make more of an effort to get him involved and not become all on Stafford's shoulders. Because again, it helps to him, it helps the offensive line. It just makes them more balanced. So yeah, I could easily see that. Another quick tangent on the Rams run game. I keep on seeing murmurs, whatever you want to call it, of it might be fantasy relevant, but to me it's much more of like a future bet relevancy is Cam Akers, I think, has come back this season.
Oh, yeah. I think so for sure. A lot
of stuff working out, a lot of like cryptic things. And I think like week 15, he'll dress, maybe get a carry or two here and there in the playoffs. We'll see him play. Him and Henderson will split in the playoffs.
Nice. Well, speaking of running backs and splitting carries, AJ Dillon. I have his receivings and rushings at 55, so over 55. Last game, he had 4 targets for 4 catches and 49 yards. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, 44 yards, and then he had 8 carries for 46 yards. So going up against Seattle, Seattle's run defense is not that great. I think he definitely deserved more carries. He's starting to see him, start to get more and more involved in the offense as teams go. I think they want to definitely, kind of save Aaron Jones for a long haul as well, because he is a durable back, but still you don't want to run your running back into the wall. So over 55 and a half of rushing and receiving yards. So I think that's a nice play for sure.
So the one thing with Jones, I believe he's still a pending free agent this season. So who knows what they do with him? So maybe they kind of just turn over to Dillon as the season moves on.
I thought they signed him. Did they not sign him?
They might have. I know he's pending free agent going into the season, so they may have signed him.
I thought him and Jamal Williams were both pending free agents last year, and I think they signed Jones.
Fact check it real quick. So I have a little tangent on Dillon.
We gotta have George on. George
fact check it. Yeah, or have the Packer Insider. But no, AJ Dillon's a guy. When he was drafted the second round, he didn't impress me at Boston College. I didn't get the draft pick, especially with the roster was kind of like you should give Rodgers a receiver instead of backup running back. We already had Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. But the more and more I watch AJ Dillon, I think he started off in the playoffs last year. He impresses me. Like he looks good. He moves well for a big man. So 55 and a half is kind of a lot, but the more and more I see this guy, the more and more I think he's pretty damn good.
He's not missed rushing and receiving, believe it or not. And Aaron Jones did sign a 4-year deal with the Packers last year.
Okay.
I think you're also a little jaded because AJ Dillon was a Michigan commit and he decommitted and went to Boston College.
I didn't even know that, honestly. So
that's me. That's me being weird. My connection is a little unstable, it said. All right, let me get to my teaser. My teaser hit last week. If you follow us on Twitter, my teaser.
That was our first teaser hit. I'm like 0 for 6. That was our first teaser. Congratulations,
so, Aaron A2 takes over the teasers in his first week. What can I say? All right, so my teaser is going to be the 3 underdogs that I took. I'm going to do them at +6 points. So Atlanta, Detroit, Carolina. You tease them +6, and it's going to be +150.
So you're basically taking all the biggest underdogs and right the 3 of the biggest underdogs and give them +6 on top of that.
Yeah.
I did something similar-ish. I did one of your strategies and teased down to a lower number. So I had a 5-team teaser, and I had Dallas -1.5 at home versus Atlanta, Buffalo -7 at the Jets, Tampa -3.5 versus Washington, Detroit 14.5, similar to you, versus Pittsburgh, and then Indy -4.5 versus Jacksonville. That's +333. So I basically added 1 or 2 games on top of that. But I was looking at you're looking at the dogs that we thought had a chance to win or keep it close, and adding a touchdown to that. I was looking at basically the favorites that I love for bounce back games, and then giving them the extra cushion. So yeah, I think both are going to hit here. We'll see. I also have a bigger one. I'm not going to list on the show. It's just too many things. We'll post it though. But
we'll tweet it out there Sunday morning. Yeah, we'll tweet it out Sunday morning.
I think where maybe they said the first one's always the hardest. You finally got us a teaser win. And maybe we should go to basics a little more instead of making these 10, 12 team teasers. Maybe we should just smaller ones.
Yeah, I mean, so I see a lot of people on Twitter posting a lot. Twitter right now, the gambling Twitter is all about, posting these, long shot parlays and they hit. I see a lot of these people. That's what they. A lot of people who sell picks. That's what they sell people on. Like, all right, look at my parlay. Parlay +1,500 and a hit, +3,000 and a hit. We hit a couple parlays too, but I don't think they're long shot parlays. It was just trying to find a value for them and hitting them.
Yeah, I do a lot of the parlays for us, and usually I think the highest one I've hit that was official pick was 12-1. So it was nothing crazy, but if you can consistently hit the 5 to 6 to 7 to 1s, who cares about the long shot ones like this? It's all about getting plus units. So that's what we go for.
Exactly. All right, that's all we got for our plays. If you guys are in the chat, stay along with us.
I do have one random thing here. So again, people can hop off. They want to hop off here. I'm sorry. If you have any questions, post them, please. But I actually had some hockey plays that I should have mentioned earlier, and they're all future bets. So going back to the homer here, I should have bet this 2 weeks ago. I knew I should. I had the idea to bet this, and I didn't do it. But you could bet still Lucas Raymond to win the Rookie of the Year for the NHL, at plus 275. Right now, he's really breaking records for like European rookies. He's at over a point a game for the Red Wings. He's at 19 years old now, just out here, just killing it. Plus 275. He's now the favorite to win it. And then I went to was Red Wings defenseman Moritz Seider, who was a first-round pick 3 years ago for Red Wings. He's like a 19-year-old defenseman, big 6'4", like 250, just big guy. Fantastic. It's a point a game. He's a big body, 750. These Red Wings guys look fantastic. All credit to Steve Yzerman. And the last one I have is just bet both the Islanders players to win the MVP. Whether it's Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid, both of them right now average over 2 points a game. You can get them at plus 150 and plus 500. They're the best two players together. They play on the same power play line. They just go out there and put up points. In the day, they adds up, and anytime they're plus money, no one else is close to them. Just take the easy money.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, take the easy money, and hopefully we get some college basketball plays. Maybe we'll do some Twitter videos in the morning or something like that. And
not prep for college basketball. I was having to do it last year. Then there's so much turnover. I am not prepped.
Well, we want to give you guys. It's all about quality over quantity. We don't want to just give you guys a bunch of bets. Oh, before I forget, sorry. I'm glad we stayed on for a little bit before we ended the show. The law firm Kenny Foisey has only made one appearance on our show. Didn't go so hot, but we're giving him another shot here. These are his plays: Michigan minus 1.5, Louisville minus 3, and Marshall minus 4.5.
Do I have to cancel my Michigan pick now if Kenny's on it?
Hey, I don't know.
Hate to see it.
I don't know. So Kenny, if you're listening, he's probably not listening, but we listen to the play by Kenny. Matthews on the Wolverines as well. All right, that's going to do it for the podcast episode. But if you guys are live, you want to hit us with some bets in the chat, please feel free. That's it. Peace. Whoo, dog.
Feeling like shit.
Dude. Man, I took some medicine earlier, and it made me feel really good. I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. And as I sat down here, I'm like, oh, no way.
When you first invited me in the studio, I was sitting there. I was like, "Oh man, he's going through some shit." I can hear it.
You saw me? Oh, you can hear me?
No, I can hear it. When you started talking right away, I'm like, "Oh man, he's going through some shit."
Yes, it's. I would say I had a sore throat last week, but it was I think last week was just me being a little busy, and then
it's the season too, where it's like. You get inside and the furnace is going on and it's dry. Yeah. Everything's just so like, everything you're breathing just dries out your throat. And if you're busy, you're not drinking water during the day, like next thing you know, like it really could just be just from, just constant doing shit,
Here's the thing is that I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water. But I don't know, man. My stomach's killing me too. I think I ate something bad, but I ate some rice for lunch or for dinner. So I'm going to eat some more rice after this and try to just make my stomach feel better. Yeah, man. Dude, I don't know what happened last night with those bets. I went to sleep after I sent them to you, the basketball bets. Just like fuck around bets, It's like, oh, free $50 here. Like, might as well just play it. Fucking Baltimore loses.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was just Pacers versus Clippers, I believe.
No, it's Pacers versus Jazz. Like, how do you lose? How do Jazz lose at home by double digits? And they're double-digit favorites.
Yeah. I don't know. There's some teams like Pacers I just respect. Nothing against the Jazz, they're good too. But Pacers are a team to me that like every year they're going to be a 6 seed. So they're gonna go 48 and whatever it is, 35 for the home game. I think it's 82 games, something like that.
I got this basketball show to do with it's this podcast called All Sports All Plays. It's like a network.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever do it though. The topics are Jokic Morris incident. You saw that?
I'll throw my 2 cents. You want to guys feed you information? Like the Morrises are fake tough guys. Plain and simple.
They are, and it's funny because the Jokic brothers.
They'll beat the shit out of them.
Dude,
Look at those guys.
Listen, man, any foreign, like Eastern European like people, I'm like, yeah, I'm good, bro.
The only guy I'd ever even be remotely afraid of on that team is Jimmy Butler. He's the only guy to me that actually is like would do something. Actually, be like in a fight that you like a dog. You know, he's the only guy to be like that.
Yeah, he's crazy.
No one else out. And I think Jokic, you can tell he kind of sat down. Was almost like oh shit. Like he kind of realized like what did I just do, and kind of just let it go. And if someone tries to fight him, to me, he's that guy. He's like the big guy, the tall guy his whole life. Or it's just like he like holds your head and be like, dude, can you stop swinging at me? Like, don't touch me.
So it's funny because I think somebody was saying it on a podcast. I don't figure who it was. It was a big man. And they said Jokic doesn't look strong. Like he's not like built. But dude, he's strong. Like I think they said Steven Adams is the strongest guy in the NBA. Somebody was saying. Like they said when he sets a screen, you like feel it. Like when he sets a screen, you feel it. Or if he grabs you, like he's boxing you while you like feel it.
Here's the problem with people, they equate strength to muscles. So they sit there and they see these people like a buck, like you're for UFC, a guy against 268 last